This is the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We hope you're having a great Thanksgiving if this gets to you after Thanksgiving. If it doesn't, then I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving the next couple days. But we got a big episode today. We're going to be reviewing AEW Full Gear from this past weekend. We've also got our big announcement, and we got a little trivia. But before we get too far into it, let me introduce myself. I am one half of your hosting team. I'm Micah. And my co-host, he's the historian of the Scoop Slam Podcast, and he's screwing this goat. I'm just holding its horns. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, ready to kick this thing into full gear. Huh? See what I did there? No?
I see what you did there. I don't know if they kicked it into full gear, though.
They did something on Saturday night. Tell you that.
A lot to talk about, a lot of headlines coming out, but let's go ahead and make our own headline real quick. Let's do the big announcement. So when this reaches you guys, you're getting an exclusive update right here. And then the day after, we're going to post it to our Instagram. But if you're listening, you're an exclusive member to the Scoop Slam Podcast, so you're going to get to know it first. Our interview slated for December 3rd is when we're going to record it. It will come out in the following days, so maybe the 4th or 5th. We have an interview with a WWE/NXT superstar that we've already talked about in the last episode. So as the final reveal, he is an Alabama boy, a former NXT Tag Team Champion. Yes, we're talking about Brooks Jensen, the young sensation from NXT, 22 years old. We're going to have an exclusive interview with him on the Scoop Slam Podcast first week of December. So make sure you're there and ready to lock in for that. It's going to be a good time. We're looking at about an hour. Like I said, we haven't actually recorded it yet, but I'm really excited for it, as I know you are too, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, man. It's going to be a good time. Really appreciate Brooks Jensen taking the time out of his young, aspiring career to talk to the up-and-coming, the fastest rising, the best wrestling podcast in the world today, Micah.
Hey, some would say, and I'd have to agree with them.
Well, I mean, we tell no lies here on the Scoop Slam Podcast. We call a spade a spade.
That's right. I was in the comments preaching that a couple days ago of some people that disagreed with our opinions and said that we didn't know wrestling. But dang it, I think the 150 followers on Instagram we got and the couple thousand plays says otherwise.
Yes, sir.
Well, I was going to say, regardless of our stats, we're really excited to have Brooks on. Like you said, we really appreciate him taking the chance. It's going to be a good episode. I feel it. And yeah, we hope to do more interviews in the future, but the next couple weeks will be pretty big for us. We got the Full Gear review this week, Survivor Series review next week, Brooks Jensen interview, and then our mid-year awards. That's all within about a 6-week span.
Oh, is this the whole year awards, not mid?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Scoopies!
Scoopies! Prestigious.
Second year.
Second annual. You gonna dress up, Micah?
I might have to.
Yeah, okay.
I got a bow tie stashed.
Hey, I'm here for it. I get a clip on.
Well, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the review. Well, before we do that, let's hit our trivia real quick, because I stumped you last week. I got a trend here.
Oh man.
Can I do it 3 weeks in a row?
Let's see what we got.
So again, we're going to be doing the crossover grids, like I was talking about last week. If you want to play along, it is crossovergrid.com. Just go to the WWE section. All right, we're back. We've had to cut a couple times. This is crossovergrid.com, wrestling number 5. This is going to be the trivia this week if you want to play along. We're doing unlimited guesses. You got 3 minutes, 3 categories on top, 3 categories on the left. You got to match them up. So to start you off, Ryan, the first category is who has won the NXT Championship and the US Championship?
Kevin Owens.
I gotcha. Topic from last week.
Oh.
All right, so the next one is faced Brock Lesnar and won the NXT Championship.
Samoa Joe.
Okay, your next one is face Bryan Danielson and won the NXT Championship.
Sami Zayn.
Okay, your next one is won the U.S. Championship and face John Cena.
Won the U.S. Championship and faced John Cena. Carlito?
Good work. Yep, okay, face Brock Lesnar and face John Cena.
Triple H. Oh, this one might be too easy.
Yeah, face Bryan Danielson and face John Cena.
CM Punk.
Okay, face Kofi Kingston and won the U.S. title.
Miz.
Okay, should have given you a harder one.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
We had too much trial and error, though. Face Kofi Kingston and face Brock Lesnar.
Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar. Okay.
You got a minute 30.
Omasa.
Oh, man. That's a deep cut. Yep, that works. You just got a 0.19% answer. That's how low that one is guessed. And face Bryan Danielson and face Kofi.
Bryan Danielson and Kofi. Bray Wyatt?
That should work. Yep, there you go. Even though I had to throw you a bone 3 times.
Well, I do appreciate it. Had to redeem myself after those 2 L's I took back-to-back weeks.
And the 2 you took off air, but we'll look past those.
Yeah, we don't count those.
Anyways, take of the week is typically what we have here. Do you have anything you've seen? I haven't seen anything, so.
Well, hold up now. I had no idea we're doing takes of the week this week. Let me see if I can dig up something. Bad wrestling takes from terrible wrestling fans. I don't know what we call it. Is there an official name to it, Micah?
I just call it take of the week. Not until we get a sponsor.
Okay. All right. What we got? I got anything? Nah, I don't think I can share anything. I don't have anything good this week, Micah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, there's always next week.
Yeah.
I just had to check in with you on that at least.
Oh my God. No, hold up now. Yes, I do. This is one take. I was scrolling the AEW Reddit page and it was talking about Roddy Strong and Action Andretti's infamous spot where he does a Action Andretti does a standing Spanish fly on Roddy Strong. And Roddy Strong got dropped dead on a stack of dimes he has as a neck. And people in the comments section were having little altercations, Micah. This one guy, username Sammy RCD, he says, to me, that looked like a planned spot to further the Roddy neck issue storyline. Andretti can absolutely hang with any of the luchadors from Mexico, and he's severely underrated. That to the point where I was worried about Andretti's neck. Andretti had plenty of momentum in rotation, but it just looked like he stopped short or fully rotating, which leads me to believe planned. Also, they conveniently cut to a camera angle that obscures Roddy's bump to make it look worse than it actually was.
So we're intentionally dropping people on their neck and potentially paralyzing them.
Yeah.
Putting them out for months.
Mm-hmm. It's on purpose, Micah. Did you not know that? Are you a Mark? You didn't see that?
I guess not.
Hey, Mark, you know Action Andretti can hang with any of the talented luchadors in Mexico.
Yeah. I don't know wrestling.
No, you don't know wrestling. You're from the South.
Deep cut. Yeah. Well, there's your take of the week, ladies and gentlemen. People intentionally get dropped on their neck for the sake of furthering a storyline, apparently.
This guy got upvoted too. People
of course they did.
They agree with it. Yeah. All right, dude.
Why am I not surprised?
It was on purpose, Mark. You don't know wrestling.
Well, me and my friend Mark, we're gonna stop watching.
I wish we could have stopped watching the AEW pay-per-view.
All right, now let's go ahead and get into it. Now that you brought it up, nice segue.
Yeah.
AEW Full Gear, hailing from Los Angeles at the Kia Forum, was this past weekend, and we got some thoughts. Obviously, that's what we're here to review today. So this is our marquee thing here. So let's go ahead and start it off. They started the pay-per-view off with Edge, Darby Allin, and Sting versus the Patriarchy, consisting of Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Luchasaurus. So Ryan, for Full Gear 2023, go ahead and give me your scoops.
I'm starting to get more sold on this whole Christian faction, the patriarchy. I'm not, I was a little hesitant about the Nick Wayne guy joining Christian and Luchasaurus, but I don't know. I'm starting to like the pairing. And for my first scoop, I like the choir, the orphans singing Christian to the ring. I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't remark it, but I wasn't so high on it.
Come on. It's hilarious.
That part of it was funny, but they just were very not in tune. And then they kept singing when the song came on.
They had no microphones either, so was that they really sing it?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
There was a lot of them.
I'll take your word for it. I mean, I hope they were orphans. That would have made it a lot funnier if they were.
Imagine he just keeps them every week now.
I'm
They've joined the faction.
Hey, that song is gas. So I mean, I'm here for it.
It is. They might need to work on their tone a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe you should get Nana out there dancing along with it.
But I do agree that the patriarchy is. There's something there.
Yeah.
I think it's working. It just needs a little bit more time to simmer. But I don't know.
Did you see what they're doing this Wednesday?
Nuh-uh.
So it got announced that I believe Christian is going to officially recognize them as his sons or something. I forget how they worded it, but wouldn't it be funny if Nick Wayne just went by Nick Cage?
I wouldn't hate it. Isn't that a Marvel hero though? No, that's Luke Cage.
I think Nick Cage is a actor in Hollywood.
Nicolas Cage. What the crap am I thinking? I wouldn't hate it.
Is Christian Cage will rechristen Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne.
I did see that because I wanted to ask you about it because do you think that they're going to take the mask off Luchasaurus?
Oh, man, I didn't think about that. I wouldn't hate that. I think that would be best for Luchasaurus, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too, because, I mean, in all honesty, I know he's, like, somewhat gotten it to work. I mean, he's had a job for 3 years, so and he's been a champion, so it's working to a point, but there's a shelf life with being a dinosaur.
Yeah, if he's going to be the dinosaur, he's going to have to just strictly be in a tag team.
Mm-hmm. And
or have a manager.
And he doesn't have a bad, like, face or anything. He's not like, God, who did Vince want to...
Christian?
Yeah. Funny enough.
Did you ever hear that story where they wanted to like put a blue dot on Christian's face when he was on screen?
No.
So apparently Vince hated Christian's face with like a passion. And he got the idea where one day Christian should just have a big blue dot on screen at all times when he's wrestling. And they had to talk Vince down from doing that because he really wanted to do it.
What the heck? Why? Like, why? Why did they love Edge so much but hated Christian that much more?
Well, he's tall, blonde, pal.
Yeah, but I mean, Christian had the hair, and then they wanted him to cut it.
Well, he had long blonde hair, Micah.
It wasn't long enough for him.
Oh,
Pause.
hold up.
Anyways, do you have any more scoops for this match before I go into mine?
Yeah. I got one. I'm sure we both got it. But the choke slam to Darby on the apron looked really. It looked good, but it looked devastating to take.
Yeah, I wrote that Darby does this for the love of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because he looked like a daggum action figure that gets thrown to the outside of your play ring and he just kind of flings. It
Yeah.
was,
Ragdoll.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Straight ragdoll. It looked devastating. It was one of the well, I say it was one of the best bumps of the night, but we got a lot of crazier stuff coming up.
Huh. I honestly, stuff like this, and I don't want to harp on this for too long. Stuff like this is why Darby is one of my favorites because his personality is getting better, but he reminds me a lot of Jeff Hardy in the
Oh, here we
sense that,
go.
like, what?
Oh my, come on.
What?
No, I'm just saying. Does
He's
he?
got a he's got a weird charisma, and he's not like a really good mic guy, and he takes crazy bumps, and I mean, I don't know, he's just got a weird aura, but that's why I like him.
Yeah, I don't hate Darby. I'm just hating because I was never a big Jeff guy, but I can see the appeal. I'm sad that he's gonna be gone for about 6 months while he's gonna climb Mount Everest, but hopefully he gets back alive.
Yeah, that's a
He could
daunting
die.
task.
He could die, Micah. There's people that have died climbing it.
I hope not. I do
Ex-
enjoy him on my wrestling TV shows.
Experienced climbers have died on taking that climb.
Well, now you're just jinxing it.
Well, I'm just saying, buddy. I don't. Is Tony Khan gonna be paying him to go climb Mount Everest for 6 months?
I'm assuming it's guaranteed
Okay.
contracts today, brother.
Oh, okay. All right. Good
I don't
luck.
have to. Yeah, good luck. You probably need it. um, I got two real quick. If you're done,
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
all right, I'll just knock them out of the way. I kind of can't believe that they never brought Nigel to the main roster for WWE.
Well, we already had a European guy.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
sucks.
He does suck. Well, I like Wade Barrett. I like Wade.
Wade's not too bad, but Nigel's like, I don't know. Nigel
He's
might
great.
be my favorite commentator right now. I cannot believe that he was never Raw or SmackDown.
He's great. He had a lot of great lines on this show. He carried that commentary team all night. I'm glad they kept him in there all night.
Yeah, which I like Taz a lot too.
Oh God,
Um,
I've
he
given up
gets a
on him.
little too hokey at times.
Yeah, I've given up, Micah.
Come on, what's wrong? You giving up, Jones?
Oh man, he gets with Excalibur, and then they just turn into comedians. I don't like
I see your point. There was something during the Swerve match that he said that like whatever Jones line that he does, but it was way too far of a stretch. Like
that. Yeah.
sometimes it pops me like when somebody gets a nut shot and he says Yambag Jones like that. Okay, that cracks me up. But sometimes he forces it.
Is he a heel commentator?
Not. I know he used to be. I don't think he is anymore. Nigel is.
I love Nigel. Nigel's heel commentary. They should just go with a two-man team. They don't need three guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Excalibur can go back to PWG.
Well, that's not happening, brother.
Hey, they
He'll
need
be
something to help him out.
well. I mean, maybe we can put Samoa Joe back on commentary.
I wouldn't hate. Oh well, he's too good in the ring.
Is he?
Anyways, I'm surprised that Nigel wasn't brought up. He the best heel commentator since like I don't know JBL or maybe Jerry
Mm, heel
Heyman maybe.
commentator. No, it can't be that far back. Come on. I'm trying to think though. Maybe you are right.
Yep.
Uh,
Who have we had?
did you like heel Michael Cole?
Mm,
That was insufferable, especially him on NXT. Bro would just bury the whole show.
Yeah, but when Punk did it, it was funny.
No, yeah, that Punk was clever with his.
So I mean, I think Nigel's at least in consideration for best heel commentator of the last 20 years.
Oh, come on. We're going way far back. Micah, that
What?
can't be right. Jerry Lawler?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Jerry Lawler's better, but he's in contention. Who else is at the table?
We got JBL.
Okay, I like JBL, but a lot of people didn't.
I thought his first run was great. Yeah, JBL, Jerry Lawler.
That's what I'm saying. Nigel's at the table.
I'm trying to think, man. No, TNA didn't really have any heel commentators.
Don West, I think he did have a slight heel run, but I think they quit it.
Yeah, it was like small.
But anyways,
you might be right.
Well, maybe he's got a seat at the table. We'll move on. My last scoop, really just overall thoughts for the match. I thought it was a fun opener. It was a typical 6-man match, but I do have to give them props for still keeping Edge versus Christian there. They dangled the carrot in your face, but you didn't get it, and I like that.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be like a cage match or something.
Maybe a Christian cage match.
Oh, okay. With Nick Cage and Lucha Cage on the outside.
Yep, and Brian Cage.
Okay.
Lucha Cage. I'm sure there's more out there.
Okay. Did you have a problem with Ric Flair getting involved?
You know, honestly, nothing bothered me about it other than watching him. Nothing like watching him move hurts me.
Yeah, he gave the rabbit punches. He gave the Shane O'Mac punches. And then Christian had to sell it too.
And then he's just real hunched over. But I did like the nut shot Christian did. I thought that was funny. And then he pushed him to the ground too.
I didn't like that Bryce was right there and he didn't disqualify him. He was just no, it was Rick Knox. It was Rick Knox that was there and didn't disqualify him. He just stayed there.
I would say something, but there's way more egregious referee work the later we go into the show, so I didn't even say anything. I was trying to be... I had my positive mindset on, my positive goggles on, trying to watch this pay-per-view because we crapped all over everything last week, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and just be positive about this show. And this is where it ended.
Oh, man. One match.
Well, there's a couple things I liked, but I was like, okay, good opener to the show. And then we move on.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the International Championship.
Oh, wait, we're not going to talk about the Adam Cole and Jay White confrontation before the match?
Well, I thought about it, but would you rather go ahead and hit on it, or do you want to hit on it when we get to the main event? Because I thought we might just do a summation.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So, in terms of matches, the next thing was Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the International Championship. So, last time we got a lot of hate for our review of this, but this one really wasn't nearly as long, which I'm not complaining about because I didn't want to watch this again. I got one scoop, and well, really two. One of them already hit was the fact that it wasn't really long. The second one is I got to give Moxley some props for the headbutt hard way bleed, because while I know he bleeds in every match, you could tell it wasn't just, a blade. So I appreciate the love of the game. That was the only positive here to me.
That was the only scoop you had?
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Okay. I got one. Yeah, just one. I can't blame Moxley for not wanting to sell for Orange Cassidy. I had no problem with that. So, that was a positive in my book. Don't sell anything for this 5'7", buggy whipped arm jabroni. I don't have no problem with that. Yeah.
That was one of my slams.
Oh, okay.
I
Can you
get
blame
it.
him, Micah? Can you blame him? Would you sell for this
No,
goober?
I mean no, but
this
at
guy's
the
a
same time,
this guy's a
I feel
former
like,
world champion.
well, yeah, but they had a 25-minute daggum knockout drag out fest like a month ago. So now he can just eat 5 of his finishers.
Yeah, he's tired of it. He's not selling no more for this guy.
I have a feeling it was Moxley's idea too. And as much as I don't like Orange Cassidy, in what world does Moxley get to be like, oh yeah, hit me with your finisher 5 times, and I'm just gonna stand there and take it.
Well, do you see that finisher he does? That orange punch that looked awful.
Well,
I mean,
I
I
mean, I
can't
got
blame him.
bigger arms than him, but still,
I'm not selling that.
I don't know.
Missed him on almost all of them.
It just seemed preposterous. Like with Roman, I can believe the punches, so I understand your point in that aspect. But at 5,
Yeah. Yeah. Took a lot of them.
In terms of other slams that I had, Moxley's matches always have the same spots to me. The hit me as hard as you can. You know how they do that? They do that in the UFC, right? They want you to hit them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
I
that
must have
makes
missed
sense in
that.
a fight.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
And I think people are going to interpret that the wrong way when I
Well-
say that, because some guys will motion for the other guy to like, oh, come on, that ain't hurting me. That's what. That's not what that is. I don't know how to explain it. Moxley stands there and puts his chin out for them to hit him.
But Micah, that's the fighting spirit. It's the fighting spirit. They can take more punishment. That's what they do in anime.
Oh God. I mean, you're not wrong, but I think that's a lot of the problem. Everybody wants to put on a daggum anime fight. And look, I'm an anime fan, but you can't. This is why people don't like wrestling compared to UFC. I know it's 2 different sports, but when you have something just completely preposterous like that, like, yes, keep punching me in the face. Why? It doesn't make any sense. So you got that. You got this. He scratches their back when he's on the top rope. He bites their head. I mean, it's the same nonsensical Moxley spots all the time. And then you got Orange Cassidy kicking out of freaking death drivers and pile drivers and all the. It's a typical Orange Cassidy Moxley match. I knew what I was going to get into. I didn't like it. And I really hated that because I thought the pay-per-view started off good and then we got here. But I'll let you go ahead with your slams, or unless you want to elaborate on what I said.
Yeah, I just didn't think we needed a rematch with these guys, honestly. Especially on pay-per-view.
Just to keep the belt back on OC, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see the point. Maybe they're trying to legitimize Orange Cassidy, which if you're going to do it, okay, whatever. But I didn't care. I like Moxley and the Shield. I like them after the Shield. His AEW run, it ain't doing it for me, dog.
It was fine for me until until
the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, I think that's really when it started to sour to me. Because even when we went to Revolution, I was still like, okay, Jon Moxley. Like, Hannah would be like, I don't understand why you like him. Like, all of his stuff just seems so fake. Like, he just talks like he's very cool and he thinks a lot of himself. And I was like, no.
He does a little shoulder thing, too.
Yeah, she always hated when he did that. And I was like, no, he's fine. He used to be in the Shield. And then he joined the Blackpool Combat Club, and it just, boom, just immediately I realized everything. And I was like, this guy stinks.
I just don't understand what he's trying to do. Is he trying to be a heel or a babyface? I don't understand. Are they
They
still
don't.
heels?
They don't have roles. Danielson's a babyface,
Well, he's hurt.
but Claudio and Moxley and Yuta act like heels.
Yeah, definitely so. I don't understand. Maybe it's not
And
meant for us to understand.
probably not. And they have that's a lot of the like AEW fans have that thought. Well, it's 2023. We don't have to have standard baby faces and heels. Yeah, you kind of do. I mean, I understand what they're trying to say, but Moxley needs to either be one way or the other, and we're not gonna hang out if you're beating the crap out of, I mean, who's a popular baby face. If you're going out
Yeah.
there and ambushing Darby Allin, and Daniel Bryan is a friend of Darby Allin, why are me and Moxley friends? That makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's it it wasn't as egregious as their last match, though. I'll say that.
No, it was only like 15 minutes. Thank God.
Yeah.
Moving on, unless you had any more slams, I think you were done, right?
Yeah, but I had a question though. I don't know if this was just my stream that was messing up, but did they like immediately cut away after this match? Like they didn't show no replays?
Yeah, I think that was just the stream that we had. Because it.
Or
Well,
were they running low on time or
nah, because the one I watched, ladies and gentlemen, I did not pay for this pay per view,
Oh,
so
sure we did. Sure we did. We,
come
we
and find me, Don Stevens. I think it's because Orange Cassidy's music is copyrighted.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, maybe that was just my thought.
Yeah, I guess. But it was just weird because nobody else got rushed out like that.
Yeah, because it immediately cut to the Tony Storm. Did they even have
Yeah.
a promo, or was it just her entrance?
I'm sure they did have a promo of all her black and white uh promos and nonsense that she does in the backstage area, losing her mind and throwing shoes and having her butler cater to her every whim. I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. In terms of scoops and slams for Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida, I only have one scoop, so I'll go ahead. I don't hate Tony's gimmick. Like, being honest, I think it can work.
Okay.
They just have to not make it too hokey. I felt like in this match, it wasn't that bad, but like they're riding that line. And especially with the backstage stuff, it gets to be a little too much.
Did you see on Rampage where they had the black and white effect during her finisher?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see that.
Yes, they did it. I I was thankful that they didn't do it during the pay-per-view, but they did it on Rampage. She does like this little taunt with her hands, and then the screen went black and white, and then she did that what's her finisher called? I forget.
The hip attack.
Yeah, the hip attack thing. But the screen went black and white for the finisher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I noticed here that it went black and white after she won, but I didn't think that was too much to me.
During the match, it's just come on now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Because how do you know that she's gonna actually hit it, or like how would she be like, hey, have the black and white effect ready for when I hit my finisher? Okay, well, when are you gonna hit your finisher? You know what I mean? When she wins, it's different because you can go to the truck and be like, hey, in the event that I win, put the black and white on. And I'm just talking from a kayfabe stance here.
Well, Micah, I mean, you didn't find it funny. You don't find that funny, hilarious? You don't like to laugh at wrestling? What do you mean you didn't have fun?
I have a really warped sense of humor, I guess, because what the AEW fan base thinks is funny is not what I think is funny.
Yeah. Basement dwellers.
Is it
No
like
offense.
millennial humor, you think?
Oh man, it could be. You got some Gen Zers around in the AEW fan base.
We got a Gen Zer coming on the podcast, Brooke Jensen. Maybe he doesn't find the AEW comedy funny, but
I
at the
wonder
same
what his
time,
favorite match is in AEW.
it's a good question. If you have any questions you would like to ask Brooks Jensen, please give us, recommendations on the scoopslammed@gmail.com email address, and we might just ask them. Because we've got our list, but any more would be appreciated. Did you have any scoops or just slams?
Just slams.
All right, well, let's go ahead and open it up. I present the floor to you, my good sir.
Okay, I don't know if you had this, but Luther messed up the Kane spot with Hikaru Shida.
Yep.
He was supposed to grab the cane. Was it a Singapore cane?
Yeah, kendo stick, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he was supposed to grab it before Shida connected, but he didn't get there in time. And Hikaru Shida swung it anyways and hit Tony Storm while the referee was standing right there and didn't even call for the bell.
Yep.
I don't. Help me here, Micah. I don't know.
I can't help you because I wrote down the same thing. I wrote, what? In all caps. She'd just clocked Tony and she didn't even get a DQ for it.
Yeah.
She didn't even pull it either. That was what I was wondering. Was like, sometimes you'll see them kind of pull the hit a little bit because they're expecting it to get snatched. But nah, she full sent it, which I guess is a good thing because then it looks real, but daggum, couldn't the ref have been distracted? Well, I guess there was nothing to distract him.
Yeah. Her. I think it was Aubrey.
Look at Luther. Once again, he's amazing on our television show. How is he still there?
I was just about to ask you, what is he doing?
I don't know.
Wasn't he announced as like the Spanish announced? Spanish
Was
announcer
he?
or something? I thought him and Serpentico and somebody else were like the Spanish announce team or something.
Oh, I thought you meant like the actual Spanish announce team. Yeah, they were like the Spanish announce project or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Okay. How could I forget?
You got any other slams? I agree with you. That one was ridiculous.
Yeah, just the ending kind of buried the referee just because of the egregiousness of her having to look the other way when the frying pan or whatever was in Tony Storm's trunks was right there visible and Aubrey Edwards couldn't see it. Like she just had to look away while she was counting three.
And that's what she adjusted it before she did it, but I think her running across the ring was slightly out, and I was like, okay, well that and then when she hit it, it knocked it more out, and then it was like covering her whole cheek basically, and there was no way you could miss it. So I was then thinking, why couldn't she have pushed it up? Because she can feel that. But I mean, I know in the moment you don't think about it, but on the TV it did not come across well.
No, the ending was very bad.
Mm-hmm. I wrote one of my slams. I wanted to give this a chance, but as usual, they tried to do too much here. And that's typically how their women's matches go. They try to do way too much. And it ends up making it either way overbooked or just too many spots where, I mean, they're dancing with two left feet, basically. And it doesn't come across good.
And I know people love Tony Storm's new gimmick, but there's a lot of angry fans online about Sheeta having a short title reign. Like this is her third title reign, and it's ended in a month for the third time.
Well, I thought for the first one she held it for like a year.
I think that people don't really count that because it was empty arenas, but
Well, hey, it's still empty arenas.
yeah. Oh, come on.
No, that was a low blow. I'm sorry, it presented it. not being serious, they did sell a good bit for Full Gear, actually. But see, I'm on the other side of that because one of my slams was they have to stop putting the belt on Sheeta.
Dang. Micah,
Well,
just ate Sheeta, huh?
look, she's an alright worker, but when
Oh,
she has the belt, the division goes on autopilot.
that well, has it ever been full speed ahead on the women's division?
Well, I mean, they were in a nice cruise, like when Britt was the champion and when Jamie was champion. It felt more, I don't know, like marketed, but
Oh God, come on, man. Tony Khan didn't even give him live promos. He didn't care.
I mean, Britt had a couple live promos. I don't like Sheeta. Every one of her reigns is just matches. That's all it ever is. And people are like, oh man, Sheeta needs the belt. They're going to say that again in 3 months.
Do you
And,
think that? Do you think that's on Tony for not giving her promo time?
can she speak?
Oh, here we go.
No, look, I'm just being honest. This is a serious question. Can she speak coherent English?
People online says that she can because she had an episode with Renee on Renee's podcast, and people said she sounded okay.
That does remind me. I have seen that clip of her on RJ City's podcast where she says that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah,
If
man.
she can speak in English, cool. If not, then give her the Shinsuke promos that they're doing. That'll get her over better than when they try and give foreign people who English isn't their native language. When they try to give them promo time, it doesn't work. But if you do the Shinsuke thing, then I'm cool with that. That'll come across well. If they want to do that, sure, but she never gets promo time. There's never like a feud. It's just, and we've got a title eliminator match. Like that's all it ever is.
Do you think that there's anybody on the women's roster that can cut a 5-10 minute promo? Because he never gives any of them a shot.
I think Tony could, maybe not exactly with this gimmick, but she is a little more. She's more well equipped than most of the women on the mic. Britt is hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just kind of there.
I think she's the only one that's like one of the only few that's had a live in-ring promo. Maybe Paige has done it, but she ain't been seen in months.
Yeah, and just because she's done it did not mean that it came across well.
Whoa, well, we do got a new signing. One Ronda Rousey.
Oh, come
Okay,
on now.
all right.
We can only hope not.
But is this, I don't know, man. Tony Khan needs to really, really look at himself in the mirror and ask himself, does he really want a women's division? Because he never gives these ladies any live in-ring promo time. And I don't think that's how you get over is live in-ring promos. You can cut all the backstage segments you want, but backstage segment promos you want, but the way to get over is live in the middle of the ring with a mic.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think. I'm looking at the roster right now. Thunder Rosa I thought was okay on the mic. And then I mean we're talking about
She's hurt.
yeah. Is she? I heard she was just on the wash rack waiting to be moved.
Remember she went in Tony Khan's office on Collision like months ago and she never came out?
Yeah.
What's she doing there?
I guess she got stuck.
Okay.
Kidnapped,
Whoa.
maybe.
What now? What's he doing to her in there, Mike?
Statlander's okay, but that's about it. This Mariah May signing, I've never seen her before. Maybe she can cut a promo. I'm not gonna say she can't because I don't know. But where's Serena Deeb actually?
I believe she was on ice for a few months, but she's supposed to be coming back.
I hope she can work.
She's supposed to be. I say that, but they got like Danhausen that was supposed to be coming back weeks ago, and he never showed up.
Yeah, there's a whole controversy into that. I don't know if you've seen it, but The only other slam I had was at the start of the match. The chopping went on way too long. I thought it kind of killed the room and didn't really get the people excited for the match. But other than that, I don't know, man. Tony Storm versus Hikaru Shida didn't really do much for me, and I'm glad they put the belt back on Tony. It just, not for me, I guess.
Yeah, good for Tony, but
Well, moving
yeah.
on, we had the tag team four-way ladder match for the tag team championships. FTR versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus LFI versus the House of Black. I got a couple for both. I'll start us off with the scoops. I thought the spot where Cash was running at Malachi when he was like against the ropes, and Malachi snatched the top rope and it flung the ladder into Cash. I thought that was nice, just something you don't see every day. Same with the Gonzo bomb spot that happened a
Oh
little
yeah,
later.
yeah, that was nasty.
Which, you know, that's just kind of how it goes with ladder matches. It's going to be a bad spot no matter what you do, but I thought it was cool at least. It was something new, and typically ladder matches don't have many new spots because TLC 2 and 3 reinvented the wheel, and nobody's ever been able to do anything like it, really. And lastly, I'm glad that Ricky Starks and Big Bill ended up retaining their championships, especially with the results of the match later with the Young Bucks. As much as I love FTR, I think it makes more sense to give Big Bill and Starks a legitimate reign. And if anybody deserves it, it's Ricky, because he's been there for 4 years and should have had a reign with Hobbs, never got it. Probably should have had a TNT championship reign by now, never got it. And so, I'm glad to see him getting a little bit of gold.
Yeah, I was surprised they retained, honestly. But
Yeah.
hey, it was good to see LFI come out with -1. I'm happy to see him getting back on TV. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see the kid come to ring with LFI. Man, it was like a child that was accompanying them to the ring, and nobody acknowledged the child, which is weird.
You hate on him.
No, I'm just. It might have been -1. I don't know. There's a kid accompanying him.
Are you sure it was negative? Like, I did
I
not
don't
see
know.
this.
I don't know, man. But it was a kid. He could have been -1. I don't know. He didn't have his mask on, so I don't know what he looks like without the mask.
You sure it wasn't?
Well, Preston Vance was there, so it had to be -1.
But is he a heel?
I think so.
Oh, no, I didn't see him, but
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that was one of my scoops. Yeah, man, it was just a 4-way ladder match. Had a lot of dangerous spots. The Gonzo bomb looked cool. Surprised about the Starks and Big Bill retaining their titles, but yeah, it was there, man. It wasn't nothing to write home about. Definitely better than the last 4-way ladder match AEW did. That was when Top Flight guy snapped his leg in half. Remember that?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't even remember the last one. I don't think that's -1. I think that's like Rush's son.
Well, you know.
Any child on AEW, -1.
I just get bad flashbacks.
Daggum it, now I don't even remember what we were talking about. Yeah, I mean, it like you said, it was a 4-way ladder match. I put nothing too crazy or anything that's going to make a best of this year, but nonetheless solid.
Yeah.
As for slams, I did have 2,
Oh.
but if you have some, I'll let you go ahead and start off.
No, I didn't really have a slam. I didn't.
Oh,
it wasn't bad.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
To begin with, it seemed like a lot of nonsensical moves and miscommunications on spots that involve multiple people, which, I mean, I know that typically happens with a ladder match, but like there was one especially that got to me with Roosh and Dax, where they were trying to like sandwich people, and Dax would hit them, and
Oh,
Roosh
yeah, I
would
remember
be a little late.
Yeah.
It's just little stuff. I'm nitpicking honestly with this one. There's nothing really there wasn't a big takeaway, but I try to give the listeners something. Dang it! And so here you go.
All right.
The only other thing, when Brody hit that Gonzo bomb and the ladder fell,
and then some jabroni started helping.
Yeah,
Cash
it was Vance.
Yeah, I don't know
It
who
was-
that was. Who was that?
Yes, Preston Vance helping Cash. I was like, why?
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, he was just in black gear, but yeah, it was Preston Vance. I was like, why is he helping him? He just power bombed Dre Listico.
Yeah, they should have shot away from that.
Yeah.
I did make note of that, but I didn't want to bring it up because I thought I'd be nitpicking.
Nah, I noticed it because it bothered me. But yeah, not a whole lot much to elaborate on with that. For the TBS Championship, we had a women's triple threat match: Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart versus Sky Blue.
Yo.
I'm waiting to say this before or after. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Up to this point, this was my match of the night.
Come on, man. Come
No,
on.
I'm being no. I'm being dead serious.
Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Did you watch this?
I watched it. Yeah, I did.
You didn't like this?
Bro, I thought it was kind of sloppy, honestly. I thought that Statlander looked like she was head and shoulders above both the ladies in the ring with her. Like it felt like Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Like it really did.
Come on.
No, I'm serious. It felt the two ladies in the ring are not ready for prime time. That was embarrassing. I didn't
Julia and Sky.
Yeah, I like their presentation. I like the entrances. They're cool. They're attractive women, but I don't think they're ready for prime time. This didn't look good at all.
I'm shocked. We have I thought this was really good. Like, this was way better than the Tony Storm Hikaru Shida match. Better than OC and Moxley.
And that ain't a high bar to jump over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was the best match up to this point, in my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a couple scoops. I'll go ahead then.
Okay.
Did you have any?
No, not at all. I thought that Statlander looked like $1,000,000, and the ladies that she was wrestling with were, I don't know, test dummies. Like she was trying to have a match with two blow up dogs.
Come on.
I'm just saying, brother. Call a spade here.
I thought they did a lot to make Statlander look like a against the odds babyface, really strong. Bianca Belair was a really good comparison. I'll tip my cap to you, sir. I did think Statlander looked really good, and she looked the best out of these three. But I don't.
By far.
I don't know. I liked this. Sky Blue hit a really nice code blue on Statlander that was really smooth and it looked good.
Because of Statlander.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying, it's all on her to take the move.
Well, Sky Blue's got to do the flips.
Oh, she got to do the flips. Come on, man. Come on, like, what are we doing here?
No, you're being too harsh on
viewers.
this match.
I didn't like it at all. Sky Blue got new music. You see that?
Yeah, I did like that she took that nasty flat bill off.
Oh yeah. Oh, she stomped it. Yeah.
Yeah, flat bills in 2023 deserve to be stomped.
Oh, come on now. The NFL keeping them alive, man.
I do not like flat bills. I don't know why.
That's what they wear in the NFL. You ever watch a game and the quarterback comes to the sideline and they got a flat bill on, the logo, and the team they're on?
Well, not all of them.
Most of them.
I don't know. Something about flat bill hats. They just scream 2012 and like YOLO and swag, and that just makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Hey, that was a heck of a year.
I mean, it was. That certainly was a time for culture. Whatever happened to LMFAO, huh?
Oh, man. Deep cut right there. Come on,
yeah.
Man.
Party rock anthem? Come on now.
Hey, brother. In high school, I had my hair like one of those guys, and everybody always sung that song to me.
Really? Which one?
Yeah,
Red? What? The
the
fro?
one, yeah, the one from.
I cannot imagine you with a giant afro.
Oh, brother, I was rocking it. People call me Corbin Blue. All my high school musical fans out there.
I never bought into that one.
Yeah, I thought version was alright.
Well, I never knew that about you. Never knew you had a fro.
Oh yeah, man, I was rocking it. People call me Slash when a couple of times when I when I first started working at Walmart. People call me
I can see that one.
Slash.
Lastly, in terms of scoops, I thought the steal or the finish was good. Statlander hit her finish and Julia Clockter stole the pin. I thought it was good. A typical heel move that worked great and solid match. I had no slams. I thought that you would at least, I wasn't expecting you to probably like it as much as I did, but I thought that you would be like, this was decent.
No, not at all. Yeah, I went to the bathroom a couple
Oh,
times,
come on.
made some popcorn. This I didn't think they should have took the title off Statlander personally,
I can
but
see that.
they think Julia Hart's attractive, so she's gonna get the title.
I, I
Come
don't
on,
think
man.
that's Julia's appeal.
Are you sure? It ain't in the ring.
I think it's more in the gimmick. I don't think I'm not trying to bury her and say she's ugly. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying I don't think this is like a Liv Morgan situation.
Are you sure? Is Liv Morgan? Is Goth Liv Morgan? That's what it
Not
is.
Liv Morgan.
That's what it is. Come on, man. Call a
Uh,
spade, Micah.
I
You
don't
buried
agree with you there.
you buried Liv Morgan, but you're praising Julia Hart. Come on, man. Make it make sense.
Look, Julia's got a pretty moonsault.
Oh, so that's her appeal, the moonsault?
No, I'm just saying. I think their in-ring work is close. I don't think that Liv Morgan is head and shoulders a better worker than Julia Hart.
I don't know. I don't know. This didn't prove it for me. I'm still not a believer.
I'm shocked you didn't like this.
You know what's shocking is that the House of Black and Malachi have not won any singles gold, but Julia Hart can win singles gold like it ain't nothing.
Oh yeah, they all got embarrassed. All of them lost, but her.
Why can Malachi not get singles matches?
I don't know. If you believe the dirt sheets, he's got a back injury, but he said that wasn't true.
Oh boy. I don't know, man. Your mic isn't as clear as it was 5 minutes ago, Michael. Well, what did you do?
I don't know. I didn't touch anything.
Like you sound very you sound a lot louder.
Okay, let me turn it down then. What about now?
Still pretty loud.
The crap.
I don't know. Say something. Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You sound fair. Not as good as you sounded a couple minutes ago, but it is fair.
Well, shoot, I don't know what happened. Well, as long as as long as you can hear me, I guess.
Yeah.
But as for the slams for Statlander versus Julia versus Sky, what did you have? I didn't have any.
I didn't write anything. I just said that it was not good.
Oh,
I didn't enjoy it. It was an enjoyable experience, and I don't like any of these ladies.
you don't like Statlander?
She's fine, but the other two, they dragged her down, man. Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss.
Come on.
Just saying.
I don't know. I didn't see that with this one. But we'll move to the next match, which is probably going to be the most hotly debated one of this.
Whoa. Hold up now. Bruv. Will Ospreay is all elite.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even write that down for whatever
Come
reason.
on. Bruv, what are you doing? Pipe down, bruv. Talk about Will Ospreay.
Okay, pipe down, bro.
Big sign.
So, as most of us expected, the signing was Will Ospreay that Tony had announced a couple weeks before. And so Tony Schiavone introduced him. He had music, the presentation, all that, and he basically announced that he was going to finish his New Japan commitments, and then he was going to be in AEW full time. So, what do you think about this signing, and how does that make you feel in terms of that he was apparently pretty hotly sought after in Stanford?
Yeah, it's a big signing for them. I feel like he's probably going to get the most out of what he can do in AEW. He probably was going to go straight to NXT if he signed with WWE. So, I mean, good for him. He probably got a bag for signing with AEW. But I didn't feel like did this need to be announced for the pay per view?
I don't know. It didn't feel like when they signed. I mean, it's a bigger signing, but it didn't have the same feeling as when it was like Swerve or Jay Lethal, where it was like a surprise. Because I mean, he's already worked with AEW multiple times, and I don't know. I kind of expected it.
Yeah, and if he's not gonna be there till like March, why announce him now?
Yeah, that too. I don't know. It was kind of odd. I would have figured that you just wouldn't say anything and then have him X and be like, then the next week have MJF throw some line about why don't you go back to your company or, and then he's like, well, I've signed full time and I'm coming straight for the top. I don't know. I see your point. It feels like why make such a big deal out of this?
Yeah, I don't know. I was expecting a little more just
And
because
I
they
like
announced it.
him.
He's fine. He's good in the ring. His promos, I still haven't heard enough, but I'm sure he'll be a big star for them. Maybe I'm sure he'll be a bigger star than Jay White is right now.
We'll get to that. I think he'll probably be a world champion very soon.
Very soon.
Next year, I think, or year after that.
They don't really switch titles like that. Like, shoot, Danielson has never won the title. Samoa Joe has never won the title.
I mean, yeah, but who's taking it off MJF right now?
Well, you got the greatest heel of all time, Jay White, Micah.
Yeah, I doubt that after he got jabroned at the end of this show. I mean, do we really think Samoa Joe's going to be the one to take it off of him?
I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't either, but
I thought the time to do it was when they had that match on Dynamite, though.
yeah, I think if they have a rematch,
It don't have the same appeal because it's babyface against babyface.
yeah. And wait, Samoa Joe's babyface?
Well, he tagged with MJF.
I think that was more of a. I don't think that was a full turn.
He shook hands with MJF.
Yeah, but he shook hands with Punk. I don't think.
Oh God, come on! You don't do babyface and heels, brother.
No, I don't know, but regardless, I don't see him to be the one to take it off of him. I hope to God they're not considering. Joe? Yeah, I don't see Joe taking it off of him.
Yeah.
I hope to God they're not considering Adam Cole taking it off of him.
It seems like that's where they're heading. That or Jay White. He doesn't have any. Can you think of any other heels he can feud with MJF?
No, but that's why I think Ospreay is a good pick.
And March, a long way to go. They're gonna do monthly pay-per-view starting next year, so.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who? I don't know. Like at World's End, who's MJF gonna face? Probably Joe. I don't see Joe winning it. That to me doesn't seem.
Why not Jay again?
I don't see him as a world champion, especially after this. He got jabroned.
I know you don't, but the fans they, at least the internet fans, they seem to still think he's a big deal. So I know he's not doing it for us, but maybe he's not for us, Micah.
I I I don't know. I see Osprey having more of an appeal to a casual viewer, a first time viewer, than Jay.
I guess. All right. I go fight you on that.
I mean, if I had to fantasy book it, I think MJF holds it till Revolution.
And then loses it to Sting.
I wouldn't hate it.
He's undefeated.
I think he drops it to Osprey.
Wow.
This is just me. If it were me, if I was in the Booker armchair, I would probably have him drop it to Osprey. Have Osprey drop it at.
Oh.
Well, no, they got All In, so they should probably wait till then.
Hold up now. People loving Swerve now.
That's also a good pick.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe Swerve wins it at the next pay-per-view.
Swerve, I wouldn't hate Swerve at
What about Swerve at World's End?
Nah, that's not enough time to build to me.
Well, you got to have somebody. Who's MJF going to face at World's End?
He can fight Joe again.
We already done that.
Not the main event of pay-per-view, though.
If Joe's getting another shot, he's got to win it.
I don't know. I can't put the title on him. I'm thinking maybe Swerve at Revolution and Osprey at All In. It's
Okay.
pretty short run for Swerve, though, but
maybe you should hot potato the title for a little bit. They have kept it on a handful of guys for the last couple of years.
yeah, hot potatoing's fine for a little bit. You just can't do it constantly. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the hotly contested Texas Death Match. Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. And this one has been all over the internet, and we really haven't talked about it because I kind of wanted to keep our thoughts fresh and new on the show when we recorded it. So, Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. Do you want to give overall thoughts first, or go into scoops and slams?
I don't know, man. I'll go with a few things I had wrote down.
All right.
This is exactly why people look down on professional wrestling, man. People think it's for idiots, for rednecks, for hicks, and the lowest common denominator. And people with mental issues. This is what they think that we watch, man. This was egregious, Micah. Wrestling isn't like high class art or anything like that. It's dudes in tights pretending to fight each other. But when you pull this Bush League stuff on national television, I mean, you risk getting thrown off the air. The NWA, they just had a fake cocaine spot and it lost them their CW deal. How do you think the TV exec at Warner Brothers is going to feel when he sees Adam Page sucking Swerve's blood live on pay-per-view? Like, come on, man. And what do you think? What do you think Nigel McGuinness is? He's right there calling this match. Do you not remember what happened with Nigel McGuinness?
I do not.
He caught hepatitis C and it ruined his chance to go to WWE. But hey, let's just have this blood spot where one of our wrestlers could get very sick and possibly get, HIV or hepatitis or anything like that. Nigel McGuinness was like an advocate for not blading in wrestling because of stupid stuff like this. Bro, it was embarrassing. I hated it. Terrible. What was your thoughts on the match, Mike? We'll get scoops and slams after that.
Once again, I'm on the other side of the fence.
Okay.
I know I like the hardcore stuff more. There were some things I didn't like, and we'll get into that. But I did enjoy the match. Overall. One of my favorite matches is Edge versus Mick Foley at WrestleMania 23.
22. That went 9 minutes. This went 32.
That's okay. Difference. That's fair. That's one of my gripes. And
how can you kayfabe ever pin these guys again? Bro, they kicked out of everything.
You know, I don't answer for you there.
Can you ever beat these guys legitimately with a DDT or Hurricane Rana ever again?
There's a lot of moving parts, and that's what I think. For me, it's probably better to just go ahead and get in the scoops and slams. But I did enjoy this. I'm not saying now. Some people were like, "This is one of the greatest matches in AEW history." Some people were like, "This is a match that you should show people that don't like wrestling, and it will make them like wrestling." Now, I disagree with that.
This will get people wondering about your mental health.
Yeah, because I sent this to my friend group, and some of them are completely never watched an episode of Raw, SmackDown, anything. Some of them were fans when they were younger, got out of it, and I showed it to my wife. The infamous spot. Obviously, if you didn't watch it, I guess you're living under a rock, but I'll explain it. They had a staple gun. Paige staples a piece of paper to Swerve's cheek. He then rips said piece of paper and presumably the staple out of his cheek. There is blood pouring. He then turns his head upside down, lets the dripping blood go into his mouth, and then proceeds to stand up and spit it out like Triple H. So I showed that to my friends.
Oh, boy.
And I said, all right, I need to know what y'all think about this. Yeah, no, I saw that. There's no amount of money that you could ever pay me. Someone said, that's just torture porn, which I thought was funny because that was your comment.
Oh, yeah.
And someone else said the staple looked real, but the blood had to be fake. And then I had to explain that, it really was real blood. And then another one of them said, new gruesome methods of pain, and had the greater than sign to good storylines with interesting wrestlers, which I thought was really funny because that's my gripe all the time. So, yeah, scoops and slams. You want to start off with your scoops?
I like the jump start from Paige. I like that he didn't have to make his entrance because this was a serious feud. I give him that. They treated it serious throughout. No dance numbers in the lead up to, well, except for Nana. Nana did dance a lot, but they didn't have a comedy buddy segment like MJF and Cole did on lead up to their matches. So, Paige had a jump start, so I enjoyed that. I'll give it a scoop.
Fair.
That's where my scoop's in. That's where my scoop's in.
Really?
That slams all across the board.
To add on to that, I also like that nobody had used the hot start that earlier that night. So it made it that much. If 3 matches before this had a hot start, it wouldn't have had the same effect. But here it made sense.
This should have went on last.
Yeah, because it killed the room after bad, especially for the next match.
Yeah.
But we'll get to the other two. the barbed wire chair that Swerve swung in the corner and it got stuck on Paige's face, that looked really nasty, but I did like it. I don't know, it just added some like what's the word? Legitimacy to it, because you never see like the barbed wire getting stuck in the guys. And I'm not saying that like you have to. I know they like gimmick it a little bit, but I don't know, that just added an extra element of extreme. And I liked the finish. I liked Swerve hanging him with the chain. That made sense. I thought it was kind of funny because he's the hangman. And I mean, it's a good way to win a match. How else are you going to get a guy to stay down?
He got up. What do you mean?
Not
he started moving. Jesus Christ. What do you need? What do you need? He got choked out by a chain. Didn't matter.
I agree.
Didn't
I don't
matter.
think he should have moved.
Didn't matter. He was gonna get up. He's getting up, brother.
And I know people are gonna equate that to Mick Foley kicking his foot up when Undertaker had him dead to rights in the Hell in the Cell, but that's a little like, not a, okay, let me almost stand up after getting choked out with a chain. Like, nah, he should have been flat on the floor. Like, maybe move your hand a little bit, like you start to crawl, but you're just not fully there.
And again, Micah, that wasn't 35 plus minutes. This was Adam Page is the strongest wrestler alive. He has to be.
Well, I think Swerve beats him.
It took 3 guys to beat Adam Page, though.
Oh, well, you're right about that. As for slams,
we got a lot.
How many you got? I got 4.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna run them down, man.
All right, that's fine with me.
You know, there's a fine line between hardcore wrestling and garbage wrestling. They went over that line multiple times in this match. This was man. Bro, if I watched this as a young child just starting to get into wrestling and my parents walked in the room while I was watching this, I would have never been able to watch wrestling again. They would have never let me watch this. Ever. This was Taz laughing at everything too. Did you notice that? Does he take anything serious?
I didn't. I almost put that as a scoop. I didn't notice it, which like I was at work watching it, so I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying full enough attention to the commentary, but I almost I felt like the announcers took this somewhat serious, but maybe I missed something.
Oh, you definitely did, because they were chuckling up a storm when the stapler came in. You know, man, the drinking blood spot was torture porn. That was the worst. I almost turned the pay-per-view off after that. I'm not even joking. Like, I literally did not want to watch the rest of it, but I powered through for you, the viewers. But I can say honestly, this is where after this match, I turned the pay-per-view off, and I had to take a couple of days to finish it. Oh yeah,
well, I kind of wanted to hit on the blood real quick. I mean, I know we did a little bit, but I don't know, man. That's just too far. As you said, and a PW Insider article came out, and I sent it to you. We talked about it. Like, look, I'm fully for the blade. I'm a little more on that line of like, I'm for chair shots to the head in mediation or in moderation. That's the word, not mediation. I mean, that stuff, like, I'm for it. I think the blade has a use in WWE, or not WWE, just in wrestling in general. It's getting late, so I'm starting to trip on my words, I can tell. But I don't know, man. Like, biting a guy on his head while he's bleeding, sure. Taking, like, a couple years ago when MJF had Punk bloody and he rubbed the bloody hand on his chest, sure.
But bro, the Nigel McGuinness is there on commentary. Come on now, have some respect for your commentators, man. Like, are they not self-aware that happened with Nigel?
I honestly didn't know. I mean, I did know about that, but it's been so long that I thought about it, I forgot.
That's crazy.
It just, who does that appeal to me? Like, it was just gross. Like, and I know people are going to be like, oh, y'all are just soft or something. I just can't imagine somebody wanting to see that.
No. Why would you want to do that?
That too. That's just disgusting. Like,
Like, I want to know
blood doesn't bother me.
what agent approved that?
I don't know who their agents are, but I got a feeling I could probably deduce it.
Oh, it's Moxley.
Not I wasn't even talking about that, but I'm sure I could look at their list and figure out who.
It's crazy. And it comes off the NWA spot where they got thrown off the network. And you're doing stupid stuff like this, and you haven't even put pen to paper on your new TV deal yet. Like all it takes is one executive to see this, Micah, and said, I don't want this on my television anymore. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And I don't feel like, I don't know, like a lot of people were like commenting back to Dave Scherer. Is that the guy from PW Insider? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay, well, a lot of people were like, dude, you used to watch ECW. What are you complaining about? I mean, ECW did some outlandish, wild stuff. I don't know that they did this, though.
Yeah. Drinking bodily fluids on live television, come on, man. I don't know who enjoys that, but if y'all enjoy it, God bless you. But I don't want to see that on television.
There's a section, apparently, but it just don't involve me. And I like hardcore wrestling, but I don't know. It was gross, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought the chair spot with Hangman when he got like caught up in his hair or his forehead. You remember? You know what I'm talking about? With Swerve hit Hangman with the chair, the barbed
Yeah, that
wire
was one of
chair.
my scoops.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I scooped that too. But
Okay.
did you see the glass spot where Swerve put the glass on Hangman's back and then he did a 450 splash onto the glass? How would that not hurt him?
It did. He
He
sold
got
it.
up. He got up.
Well,
How did that hurt? How did that hurt Hangman more?
I guess because the force coming down, but I would think it would be even. I don't know.
Yeah, he's having force going however many miles per hour onto Hangman's back. He's taking it on his sternum. Isn't your sternum more sensitive than your back? Didn't make much sense. And Swerve got right back up because that's what you do when you get hit with glass. You get right back up.
He should have stomped him with it.
That would have made more sense. And just Adam Page being the strongest wrestler alive. Because I believe he took a cinder block shot too. And he got up. He got up. You see how phony that cinder block looked too? It just crumbled into powder. That's not how cinder blocks. That's not how they break.
That wasn't even the part that bothered me. When he pulled it out, you could already see like the pre-formed cracks in it. I know they have to gimmick it, but you
Don't
can't
even
see
use it. Don't even use it. It was
I don't know. I didn't hate the cinder block involvement, but just don't make it look phony.
It did. It definitely looked funny when it crumbled. It just crumbled in the dust. That I don't know. That slam. I did. You know what? Maybe I did have more scoops than I thought. I thought Swerve winning the match was the right choice since he got buried on the mic. But the circumstances to get there with all the overbooking with Brian Cage and Prince Nana getting involved, that wasn't needed. You didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Especially because you have weapons in the ring. Just use that. You don't need interference. And why did Brian Cage just show up so late after Swerve bled buckets? Why did he wait so late to show up?
That was exactly one of my thoughts. Was it went just like their match at Wrestle Dream? It went 5 minutes too long. There was no need for Cage to come out. I'm fine with Nana getting involved because he's out there. But it just... It killed the finish to me. And Swerve, that was a scoop that I forgot, Swerve winning. Because I've said for months I think Swerve is a main event talent. And I think that this is a good way to get him over. And a lot of fans seem to believe that same thought now. But I know he's a heel, but why? They've been fighting for 25 minutes. When he hit that moonsault and then he did his, I don't even know what it's called, but he hit one of his like signature moves or whatever. Why is that not the finish? Or not moonsault, but the 450 with the glass, whatever.
Yeah. Well, because Adam Page is the main character, Micah. Are you dumb? He wouldn't
Must
lose
be
to
dumb,
that.
stupid, or slow.
He wouldn't lose to that. You Mark. Adam Page is way stronger than that.
And then the people that, well, was that your last slam?
Yeah, go ahead.
The people making it like romantic. There's something wrong with you.
Well, hey man, when he started drinking Swerve's bodily fluid, I think he brought that on himself.
I mean, yeah, but nah, there's something wrong with y'all. Like y'all, people are shipping these two now, and these are like real grown men. If you're shipping like Edward and I don't even remember the other dude's name from Twilight. Yeah, if you're shipping like Edward and Jacob from Twilight, sure. But two real grown men, I don't know, man. It just seems weird. Very online behavior.
The AEW fan base. The old basement dwellers. The guys that go to BronyCon.
Well, in terms of slams, I got a couple that you didn't hit on. The staple gun didn't bother me, but Page's actions at the beginning seemed more heelish, which I guess the crowd was booing him and cheering Swerve, so I guess that did work.
Whoa, Micah, we don't have heels and baby faces, you Mark.
It's no defined terms.
Oh.
They just are characters who can do what they want at any time, even though they come out of a specific side of the entranceway.
They still do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still like there's two different set of stairs.
Oh, I never noticed. Well, I did notice back in the day, but I haven't like paid close attention.
Yeah. The center block spot to me is too far, especially if you're going to land on it with your back. That just is ridiculous. It's a good way to, mess up your L7, herniated disc, be paralyzed, but whatever. And lastly, because I've already hit on a couple. Oh yeah, obviously not, because Roddy Strong gets slammed on his neck and gets paralyzed on purpose. The stupid moonsault that Paige does, it bothers me every time. I'm gonna write it down every time. Look behind you. My God, is that too much to ask? It's 5 seconds of something that would just make it look more real.
Yeah, that was egregious too. I was thinking when I was watching this.
I don't. I'm kind of scared.
Man, why didn't Keith Lee get this death match with Swerve? Didn't they have like a big feud going on?
Yeah. Speaking of the cinder blocks.
They never got a blow-off match. Why did he get a pay-per-view match with Swerve?
I honestly have no idea. They said something about it the other day. I want to say it was on the Wrestle Purist podcast or something. They kind of asked about it, but he didn't really give like a real answer. It was more of like a Tony didn't really think it had much left, so we just moved on with it. But he said something like it's never gone. It's more of just waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it was vague.
but go ahead with the rest of your slams there, Mike.
That was pretty much it. I mean, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good. It's not close to the match of the year for me. It's not one of AEW's best matches, but overall, I gotta say, to me, it was the best match on the card. I think it just went 5 minutes too long. Cage didn't need to be involved, and it should have ended after the glass spot and Swerve's finish, and then it would have been 25 minutes.
Does Paige not have any friends?
Well, his friends are the Bucks. They had a match to get ready for next, brother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nah, I don't know. You know, you can't ever apply too much logic to it. I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm just talking about AEW.
Oh, well, babyfaces don't really have friends.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But I'm not hating Swerve being in the main event scene.
Yeah, but the way they got here, we didn't need to get it. We didn't need to have this match to get Swerve to the main event scene.
You got a point. I mean, I'm not going to fight you on that.
He couldn't have just had a match with Omega or something. I don't know.
We had a match with Danielson a couple weeks ago. It was pretty good.
I'm talking about like pay-per-view. You couldn't have had any other pay-per-view match in this garbage death match.
I don't know. Again, too, I didn't think about it, but when you said it, it makes more sense. It should have been shorter. I mean, 12, 15 minutes, they could have went balls to the wall and just killed each other. And when you drag it out for 30, you got a lot of time to set stuff up. You got a lot of downtime. I don't know.
This went almost as long as the main event did.
Was the JY match longer?
I think by like a couple minutes, yeah.
It didn't really feel like it, but I don't know. I knew the main event was going long, though. I could tell.
Oh, yeah. Definitely felt like it. To me, at least.
Speaking of going long and getting tired, the next match was Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, the Golden Jets, versus the Young Bucks. And if I wasn't at work, this one would have put me down for the count. I got one scoop and one slam. Omega and Jericho picked up the win here, but yeah, the crowd was dead. I was dead, and I didn't want to see this before, and I dang sure didn't want to see it after. But if you got a scoop, I'll let you go ahead.
I enjoyed the match. I didn't write anything down because I was still rattled from the match I just seen. But it was
the day before.
Yeah, I was still shook, man. I went to work arguing with one of my coworkers that's a wrestling fan. He enjoyed it, but the crowd was dead, like you said. The Bucks did their thing that they usually do. Jericho, he was there. Omega, he wrestled. So I don't know, man. It was a match. It was
on.
It was on. Wasn't the most embarrassing thing I've seen.
Which they got the death spot, to be fair, and I'll admit that, but
did you like the Bucks having a temper tantrum after the match?
No. I did like the CM Punk chants. That was my scoop.
I did hear that, yeah. But it sounded like fans started booing.
I think they were just booing the Bucks. I don't know. Maybe I perceived that the wrong way, but I did think it's funny that it was in their home state too.
Oh man. Well, can you blame them?
I just saw something real egregious come across my Twitter, and it's exactly the fan art thing we were just talking about. So I'm gonna send this to you.
Oh,
but we don't have to talk about it. But it's just it's almost worse than anything I've seen in terms of the shipping fan art. Yeah. I was perusing Twitter to make sure, sometimes when we're doing these shows, just the sky starts falling.
My God. Yeah. Okay.
What is that?
I don't know. Why do the Elite have so many breakup angles? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, how many people? This is what, twice with Omega, Adam Page come back. Matter of fact, no, I do have an answer for this one.
Adam
Adam
Cole.
Cole. They're indie wrestlers at heart, and they cannot tell a story unless it's about their friends.
Oh man.
We got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
What other story? Everybody's like, man, what do you mean AEW doesn't have storytelling? Proceeds to tell a story that now happened 2 years ago. Okay, what else?
Over and over again.
Yeah, now it's just the same thing they're trying to repeat, but it don't have the same effect. Paige died for a couple months, and they blamed it on Punk when Punk told a better story than they did, and it took him 3 months, not 2 years.
Yeah, it just seems like because I think they did do a breakup angle early on in the existence of AEW of the Elite. That might have been during the Adam Page Kenny Omega rivalry stuff, but they did that, and then they did another breakup angle with who was that? Is that Cole? I think it was Cole because did Cole turn on them with Fish and O'Reilly?
Yeah, but then nothing ever came of it because Cole got hurt and O'Reilly got hurt and Fish got fired.
Yeah, but regardless, it's been a lot of times they've done the same angle over and over. I don't care what they're doing. Apparently, they're not doing BTE anymore. So there's that. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's what Brandon Cutler tells me. So
I'll just have to. I don't know what I'm going to do without that.
Micah, you don't want to see BTE. You don't want to see all the inside references. You don't want to see what Dolph Ziggler's brother's up to.
You don't want to see bad comedy every week.
What bad comedy? Those guys hilarious, you Mark. You just don't understand the complexity of the nuances that they do on the BTE show. You don't understand.
Is that what they call it? Yeah, I mean, come on now. But if we're talking about the Bucks, what haven't I said on this podcast? Not trying to be a jerk, but these guys just don't do it for me. They can't tell stories. I don't like their matches. And the slam I had for this one was it felt flat. I wasn't interested watching it. Considering what it had to follow, none of these guys feel hot right now. And it just had every Bucks spot that they typically do. So what was different?
They destroyed the ringside area afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll put butts in seats.
Well, they threw a few chairs, so they did throw a few seats.
That'll take the butts out of the seats.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, again, what have I not said about the Young Bucks on here? They're washed. Matter of fact, I meant to write this down. I forgot. This was a battle to see who's more washed.
Dang. What Omega?
Omega's fine. Like he can still go to me, but Jericho and
go
the Bucks.
Out the door.
Oh, come on. Omega can still wrestle.
He can wrestle in Japan all he wants, but I don't want to see him here.
It's
no disrespect, but he's a bona fide scrub.
I don't say this to be mean, but completely B's mean. I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to say. Let's move on to the main event. The Bucks, get them out of here. Sorry.
The very convoluted main event is going to take us a while to set up because it was very confusing.
Yeah. So let's start the pre-show. We did both not watch, I'm assuming. They had a match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I believe it was MJF and Samoa Joe and Adam Cole's place versus the Guns. So MJF and Samoa Joe retain. The Guns attack MJF after the fact. And MJF leaves on an ambulance. Was it Moxley and OC or was it after the first match?
I believe it was after the first match.
Okay. Tony Schiavone comes out with an important update about the main event. And Jay White comes out to accept his championship, considering there's no one to defend MJF's right to the championship.
He came out to the wrong music too. Did you hear that?
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. He came out to the Guns music.
Oh man, no, I didn't notice it. It's pretty funny, but no, I really didn't. I did hear the Blade, so I thought that was him.
Nah, but then they had the Guns, weird outlaw music. Where are they?
Music, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then Adam Cole hobbles out doing his best Sting 1997 Tan impersonation. And crutches and ankle boot.
Yeah.
What are you cracked up about the Sting comparison? Dude, he is. He's ghostly white, and I mean, I am too, but I'm not on TV.
He lives in Florida. You don't go outside?
I guess not. I know it's still hot down there too. I was there. It was like in the 80s last time I was there last month.
Well, he's probably inside streaming Twitch.
Well, you got a point.
Yeah.
Well, Brent's always got a tan.
Well, I don't have anything to say. I don't know, man. He's giving up. You know this.
Well, anyways, Cole comes out to defend MJF's honor and says that he will be in the main event. So, we're at the main event. Yeah, with one leg.
How did he get clear?
I don't know. Zach Gowen must be the doctor back there.
Oh, man, come on. Shout out Zach Gowen.
Yeah, never thought we'd say that name on the pod. So, Jay White makes his entrance. Adam Cole makes his entrance. As they're about to start. Also, Adam Cole's not in any ring gear. He has a sleeve on.
Yeah.
And MJF suddenly is storming through the arena as the ambulance sirens wail.
He turned into 98 Steve Austin with the ambulance.
Yep. And he tries to come out. All the security and everybody's stopping him. Stop the guy who, sure, his knee's banged up, but the guy with the boot on, let him go to the ring. That's fine.
Nah, he good.
he can go.
Yeah.
So MJF starts the match. So let's back up real quick here.
Okay.
What was the point of all this?
Bro, I don't know. It was way too overbooked for my like. The initial intrigue with MJF being hospitalized, that was fine. But then when Adam Cole took his spot, that's when it went off the rails for me.
I'm fine with him being hospitalized, I guess, but even then,
you fine with him being in the hospital?
Well, not like that, but I think there was too much going on. Like, what's the odds that he pulls in at the exact right time? And I know that's nitpicking because Austin did it, but I don't know, man. I think what they were going for, if they want to have MJF be hurt for the match, that's fine. What they could have done was, instead of having him leave and go to the hospital, they could have had him go to the back. The doctor's trying not to clear him. And this is just what I thought of as a scenario. They send Renee back there, camera and everything. They ask Doc Samson. Samson's like, no, he's not going to be cleared. They argue. MJF's, obviously in pain. Cole's like, well, I'll fight for you or whatever. And MJF's like, no. We go to another match. We come back. Same thing. They're back there. They're arguing. And this time, MJF is like starting to get hot about it. And he yells for everybody to leave except for Doc Samson. And then the cameraman leaves the room, but leaves the door cracked. We can see in there, MJF roughs up Doc Samson, threatens him, and then Doc Samson is forced to clear MJF. Now, we still got the same point across of MJF is very hurt. Adam Cole offered to defend the belt for him, Jay White has an obvious advantage. And that takes a lot of the hokiness out of, well, MJF stole an ambulance.
Well, that probably wouldn't work too because Tony Khan sees MJF rough up Doc Samson. so he probably wouldn't clear him then. I mean, he wouldn't let him wrestle if he just thrown the doctor, Micah. Come on now.
Well, sure, but I mean, I think it makes a little more sense.
But why couldn't Samoa Joe just take his spot?
Well, that's getting too far into false advertising to me because I was already thinking that, like, if you bought this pay-per-view, wouldn't you be kind of, I mean, I don't think anybody bought the pay-per-view to see MJF versus Jay White in the main event, but hypothetically, I don't know, I would be kind of pissed.
You get out of shape Samoa Joe versus bland Jay White.
Whoa, come on now, let's not act like Samoa Joe's washed.
Well, I'd rather see him than Jay White, but still, though, they did way too much here. Way too much. I don't think the injury angle was needed, actually.
I agree. I was given a scenario if they did want to do that, but I agree.
It was so unnecessary, especially if he was just going to do everything that he usually does in the match. Like he didn't change up his moveset at all. He just did the same stuff. And he even did more dangerous stuff. He did a diving elbow drop to the concrete floor, not even with a table in between them. Or, how Shane McMahon did the diving elbow drop onto the announce table. You know what I'm talking about, Micah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
or even just the cutter.
Yeah, that was crazy to do. Why would he do that if he has an injury?
That made no sense. Any depth.
That made no sense though. And then, we don't particularly, I don't want to say we don't like Jay White. We just haven't seen what other people have seen in Jay White yet with watching AEW frequently as we do. But this makes him look like a complete jabroni. He had both his guys and he had two one-legged guys to combat him in the match. And he still lost. He even got a belt shot. He hit MJF with the title belt. It didn't matter.
Yep.
It didn't matter. Kick out. I don't know, man. What did you have any scoops or slams or?
Yeah, I got a handful, but I just like you said, it's just a lot going on, and
for no reason. I think it drove down the match with the injury stuff.
I completely agree. I would have rather seen a good 30-minute wrestling match between MJF and Adam Cole with no, I'm selling a gimp leg or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what could have redeemed this? If Cole turned on him in this main event. That could have redeemed this. But he was there for no reason. What was he out there for?
Well,
to hype up the crowd?
I have a thought, but it'll be my last slam.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and get into the scoops. I do agree I would have rather seen a regular match. I think that's what the AEW fan base wanted to see. And I think after the Swerve Page match, people didn't want to see this. They wanted to see real, and we know Jay White can do that. He had probably one of the greatest matches of the year with that tag match with FTR. People wanted to see a real, I mean, I don't want to say a real wrestling match, but they wanted to see
Roman Hammerlock. Right?
No, not that, but you know what I'm getting at. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
In terms of scoops, I got a couple. I'll just hit them with you real quick because we kind of went over most of this stuff. MJF is definitely the most over guy in the company by a wide margin because the people were on their feet most of the time when he was doing something. The toss-up mule kick in the corner I thought was a cool spot. MJF was in the corner. Jay White ran at him. MJF ducked, kind of tossed him up, and kind of super kicked him, mule kick, whatever you want to call it. I thought that looked nice.
Yeah.
The elbow drop on the busted table, like, I have to give them props for doing it, but I don't think it was worth it, but it was crazy to watch.
Yeah, I don't. If you're selling an injury, don't do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I just mean, like, God, it's one of those things you want to look away, but you can't. You're peeking through your eyes because sure, there's a little padding, but that's mostly concrete out there.
Especially because it came out afterwards that MJF dislocated his hip and had to get it like popped back into place.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where he did it.
Oh well, there you have it.
The tombstone that MJF hit, Jay scorpioned a little bit, and I thought that looked nice. It like he actually like went limp a little bit when he got hit with it. And MJF is he's using up his bump card, brother. That cutter to the outside was, again, gotta give him props. Don't think he should have done it. I wouldn't take that bump, but props for doing it.
Yeah, that I've never seen nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
He was
Randy
taking.
dang sure ain't doing that.
Oh heck no, no way. But he was at the school of Seth Rollins of selling because nothing mattered in this. He didn't change up his offense whatsoever in this match, even though he had a bad leg.
Yeah. I mean, when you said that comparison, I was like, that's pretty daggum spot on.
Yeah.
As for slams, I'll go ahead and hit mine. I mean, unless you had anything scoop-wise you wanted to hit on that maybe I didn't touch on.
Bro, I was still numb. The fans were mad that Jay White lost this. I will say that.
Well, again, let me get into my last slam. Like we said earlier, if MJF was going to do this, if he was still going to do the match, why have any of this happen at all? The biting spot on the top rope in the corner has become the chop spot in AEW. It's ridiculous. It happens all the time. I think it happened like 3 or 4 times on this card. The no victory title shot spot. Like, I don't know. It was a slam to me because no cheating spots ever work anymore.
Well, sometimes I think MJF cheated in this match towards the end, didn't he?
I'd be lying if
Did he
I
use
knew
the
what
ring?
the finish was. Yes,
he used-
did.
Yeah, he cheated.
But, I mean, daggum, you got title shots. Those don't matter anymore. Low blows. Those don't matter anymore. I mean, what are you supposed to do now?
Well, you saw what they did in the Swerve Hangman match. You got to do a lot now, Micah.
I guess, but, I mean, good night.
AK-47. Maybe they should just bring that to the ring next time.
You know what? You got a good point. New gimmick. And lastly, and this is kind of what I wanted to hit on, Cole saw Jay crawling towards the ring, didn't grab it. This is why I'm thinking that he's got to be the devil.
Okay. I'm listening.
And I also think that that's why a lot of this happened. There was a couple times, like, you remember when Adam Cole was asking MJF to do a dive?
Yeah. And Nigel was saying, I would think that if I was Jay, I would have let him hit the dive or something like that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's a couple little hints in here that I'm thinking Cole is the devil, and I think that's why he was out here. But I just overbooked to no end. That's all I have to say about it. It wasn't a bad match, but I much rather would have just seen a classic between MJF and Jay White, pure wrestling. No, I got a bad leg or this or that. I mean, shoot, he can just sell the fact that he's tired. He already wrestled once tonight.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, how weak does that make Jay White look? The guy that he's wrestling just had 2 matches. Well, he had a match earlier tonight. This is his second match. And he has a bad leg. And Jay White has his 2 best friends there to help him. And it didn't matter. He still lost. Where do you go from there?
I have no idea. And that's what people were saying online. They were like, a lot of people were either saying, well, they've done a lot for this person and he can go, like, he'll still be a main event guy. But I mean, okay, he lost. What are they going to do? Rematch? I don't see him beating him. And even then, I mean, what is he going to have to do? MJF's going to have to come to the ring with 2 arms chopped off next time.
Yeah, I don't think he should beat him because I really don't think that he has established himself as a top level main event heel just quite yet. He still has a lot of proving to do, in my opinion. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't feel like he's beaten anybody to really earn this spot.
Maybe he has because I ain't locked in on the Collision in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's gonna be tough to build him back up. He might just got Wardlow. I don't know.
We'll have to see. That'll be a 3 or 6 month temperature check. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they go from here with Jay White, and none of his promos have really came across just amazing to me. I don't know. Like with LA Knight, I was worried, but I think he can get his steam back. Jay White, I don't trust him enough on the mic to get his momentum back. And he didn't necessarily have a ton of momentum coming in either.
He has a very unique way of talking on the mic.
He talks just like his boss. He says a lot without saying anything at all.
He does that. And he just he steals other guys' catchphrases in the promo. I don't know.
He also repeats himself a lot. Maxwell, 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 Maxwell. Like he'll just do that.
Yeah, it's something. Maybe we just haven't seen enough of. So, go ahead.
I was gonna say he seems like one of those guys that if he can't curse like he can in the New Japan promos, he ain't that good.
He's a little bit above Grayson Waller for me, honestly. Maybe a little bit. A little bit.
Good God, that bar is so low, it's in hell.
Well, he's right there with him. They're roommates down there.
Well, that was Full Gear 2023. Overall, what is your rating
4
out of 10?
4.
Well, yeah, that one ready to go. Dago.
Yeah, 4. Favorite match of the night. God. What was match 1? The Darby.
Edge and Darby. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Ladder match, maybe. I don't know.
I'll say match of the night, Paige and Swerve, but I know I enjoyed it more than you.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
The hell's Full Gear 2023.
Well, that was Full Gear, like he said, and Thanksgiving is this week, so we'll go ahead and close that out. Spend time with your family. Make sure to check out our Instagram. It'll be in our link tree. It'll be in the bio. Make sure to check out our Instagram, Facebook. You guys have really been giving us a lot of engagement on Instagram, so we really appreciate that.
Wait, did you give it a rating?
Oh, I slipped by with that, didn't I? 6.8.
Oh, okay.
Not good enough for 7, but
Okay.
I think it was okay. There was a couple things I liked.
Yeah. You're alone there, buddy.
I figured I was gonna be. But as I was saying, next week is Survivor Series, so make sure to tune back in for that. Go to our social medias. we've been having a bunch of fan support on there, so we really appreciate that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Linktree in the bio. Make sure to enjoy the time off with your family. We're not doing a weekly review this week because we know, it's Thanksgiving. So spend time with your family. Enjoy the good food. Come back next week and be ready to have a good time with Brooks Jensen in a couple weeks. And in the meantime and in between time, take care of yourself. Have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.